Good morning and welcome to this, a brand new interview, part of my interview series, The Fearless Entrepreneurs, because we all know that to become successful, to have the business of our dreams, we have to take daily fearless steps. I'm Rachel Smith, business grower, and I am a business coach who supports her clients to generate consistent months of 5K and beyond. I absolutely love this work, and I equally love having an opportunity like this to bring the amazing women who are part of my world to you. And today we're joined by another business coach, Tiffany, and she's going to be sharing a really fabulous content about how you can juggle motherhood and business. I was just chatting to Tiffany before we went live to really kind of share that even if you don't have a young family or a family at all, there is still going to be so much juice that you can get from this interview, because a lot of the things that we feel as parents whilst we're running our business, that feeling of guilt and running out of time and overwhelm, are the exact same things that you feel anywhere in your business. So this is going to be a really great interview to share with you. So the way that we're going to manage it is Tiffany and I are going to get into the detail very shortly. If you've got questions, please post them below, and we're very, very happy to answer those after the interview. We want for you to get as much juice out of this as possible. And I really want for you to be encouraged to be as active and engaged in this interview as possible. So if there's things that Tiffany's sharing with you that's really resonating with you, pop them up. I will be flashing up their comments. That is one element of Be Live TV, the tool that I'm using this morning that I do like, where you get the opportunity to kind of take a snapshot of somebody's comments. So engagement, questions, all very much encouraged. But let's get into who I've got in the hot seat today. Not that it's that hot, is it? It's October. But this is Tiffany Charted, who is a business coach. And she primarily works with ambitious mums to create the freedom and the lifestyle that they want by building a business that they love, that they can and they've got that balance. And I certainly know from my own experience, Tiffany, that certainly in the younger days of both my business and my family, that there were so many times when I felt that that balance wasn't right, that actually I was either being all in being a mummy or all in running my business, and the children weren't part of that, and it didn't feel very balanced. So I absolutely love that this is your niche, and these are the people that you work with, because boy oh boy, we need the support and the accountability and all of those things that I know that you give to your clients. So one of the things that I love to do with the people who join me on this interview series is to get the kind of background of, I'm always really interested in knowing why somebody's done this crazy thing that we do of deciding to run your own business. So can you tell me a little bit, Tiffany, about what your journey has been to get you to the point where you are today?
Yeah, so hello everybody, and good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. And yes, so my journey's been quite an incredible one, and has had lots of chops and changes along the way. But I'll start from the beginning. So I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur from around the age of about 21. And at that time, I was working in corporate recruitment, and at the very beginning of my career. But a colleague and I, we both, had these aspirations of having our own businesses. And at the time, we thought we were going to open our own recruitment company, and that's what we were going for. But it didn't happen for this reason and that reason, and a lot of things happened since then. And it turned out that I actually didn't start my business until much later, and into like mid to late 30s, and lots of things changed then. And I thought, oh, I'll leave my job and I will start a business straight away. But it didn't quite work out like that, because I slowly began to realize that I didn't like recruitment, B, I didn't like the corporate world, and I just didn't want to be there anymore. And as time progressed, I was, beginning to suffer burnout, which I'm sure that many of you can relate to that have worked in the corporate environment. And then I went through some personal issues that had a knock-on effect to me changing my mind about what I wanted to do. And then I decided that I needed to get to know me again a bit better. So a bit of a background to that personal issue was that I married young and I divorced really young. And anyone that's been through a divorce will know that in itself is very, very traumatic. And so I had to come back to myself. I had to get to know myself again after that experience, because being married and divorced at a very young age, like, you just don't expect that to ever happen. You think you're going to get married and it's going to be for life and you've got all these plans, and it just didn't happen. So it took me a few years to realize what it is that I wanted to do, and the who and the what. And it just turned out that it ended up being coaching. And it was through a friend of mine, because what I do, and I don't know if many people, when people want to do something else but they're not sure quite what it is, they go out and try and find it by themselves. But the best advice I can give you, if you're in that position right now, is to speak to the people around you, the ones that know you the most, your friends, your family, maybe some co-workers, people that you're really close to. And it was a friend of mine actually that said, look, I've come across the coaching profession and I think you would be perfect for it.
Nice.
And so I was like, oh, what is this coaching? I didn't have any idea what it was. And so I went on my little fact-finding mission, and I tried it out. I went on a weekend taster course with one of the training providers, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is what I was made for. Like, this is it. I felt like I'd arrived. and I don't know if anyone else can resonate with that, when you find that thing that you were meant for. And that's what happened. And this was going on for some years. And then I decided that I was going to get my training as a coach. And I qualified in 2012. And then I also specialized in business coaching. So I got my coaching skills certification, and then I went on to specialize in business coaching. But at the time, I didn't really feel comfortable with doing a business coaching. So I decided to become a career coach, because that's what I knew. I worked in recruitment and I knew everything about helping people with their careers. So I did that alongside my 9-to-5, and really it was a side hustle for a really, really long time. It wasn't that I got my qualifications and I went straight into starting my own business. It wasn't like that. And of course, I didn't have the confidence to do it. And I thought you needed a lot of capital to be able to do it. And that, is not the case. You don't need a heck of a lot of money to start a business. And so I did the career coaching alongside my 9-to-5. And then I decided, okay, I've had enough of recruitment. I want to find a coaching job before I go out and start my coaching business on my own. And I did that. I was very lucky, because there aren't that many coaching jobs out there working for somebody else. So I was very lucky to find a job to be able to do that. And I did that for about a year. I was working on a project, and it was then that I fell pregnant. So I fell pregnant in 2013, and I had my son in 2014. And that was the time that I realized, when I was on maternity leave, that, I had to make a decision, like, am I going back to work, or am I going to do this? And it was at that time that I sat down with my partner and I said, look, I would really like to give this a go and do it on my own, because I know how difficult it is to find a coaching job. And while I was on maternity, that project came to an end. So that job wasn't there anymore. So it kind of, plan B was taken away from me. So I had this choice. Do I go back to recruitment, or do I start my own coaching business? And that's what happened. I decided to start out on my own in my maternity leave. And lo and behold, 3 months into my maternity leave, I fell pregnant with my second child. So I'm this crazy person that has the children back to back. And so I very much know what I'm talking about when it comes to juggling children and business. I've got the kids are now 3 and 4, and both now, as of September, in full-time education. So I know all about what it is to have to juggle that, like, and doing your business in that time, and now being able to do it during school hours. So that's me in a nutshell.
That's really interesting, actually, Tiffany. It is very similar to my own journey, although the timescales are slightly different. But to actually set up in your own business when you've got 2 really small children, so powerful. I mean, you think about you think about up leveling in your business and all the things that we have to find confidence to do in our business on a day-to-day basis. But there, at that point, when you were facing that crossroads, and you were pregnant, you had a baby, but you had the brave, you were brave and fearless and confident to say, this is what I want to do. It would have been so much easier to go and find a job. And I think that is what a lot of women forget when they're looking at taking bigger steps in their business, is that they forget the big steps they've already taken and what it took for them to make that decision and to actually take that action. So yeah, really brilliant to actually hear that from another woman, because your story is so similar to my own.
Yeah. And the thing is, I have to say that there was a point in all of that I did get fear.
Oh yeah.
A lot. And because don't think that that's not normal, because it is normal. So even then, when I had decided to start my business, and I had started, I got the fear of God inside of me and said, this is not going to work. And then I started going on interviews. So I actually did start applying for jobs during that time. But when I started going on these interviews, I really realized that it just wasn't what I wanted. And so I had to take that fearless step twice during this journey of mine and say, no, you know what, I cannot do this. And not that I can't, because of course I could go back to work, but it just wasn't what I wanted. So you have to go for what you want, go for your dreams. And hi, Anna. And really just go for it with everything that you've got. That's what, what I would say.
Definitely. That's fantastic. So this is the scenario. There you are. You're running a business. You've got 2 small children. What are the biggest challenges that you have experienced whilst you've been on this journey, whilst you've been juggling both motherhood and a business?
For me, it was the time. So at the beginning, before the kids started nursery, it really was doing work in that time. And of course, like, I had my kids so close together. I was just pregnant one after the other. And it was really difficult, because anyone would know, like, if you've had a baby, like, you really are tired a lot of the time. And not only did I have this small baby, I had another one on the way. But time is a big thing. So it's really important that you're really, really strategic with your time. And of course, when you're first starting out, if you've got very small children, you're going to have a lot less time than somebody like where I am right now, where they are both in full-time education. But still, I still have less time than a normal person who doesn't have kids, And so that was the biggest learning curve for me, was how I structured my time and how strategic I was with that. So I've got 3 tips if you'd like me to share.
Tiffany, I'm going to just leave and get a drink. You go, you fill your boots and do that. I'm just going to do that so I'm not coughing over the top of you. It won't be a minute.
Okay, no problem.
Sorry.
So the very first thing is that you need to set boundaries around your time. And what I mean by that is that you have got family time, you've got work time, and then you've got you time for things like self-care and stuff like that. So I would say the best thing for you to do is to set your working hours, number one, and set the time that you're going to spend with your family, and then set up the time that you're going to give to yourself, and be really strict and disciplined and set your boundaries around that. And then the second thing that I did was I was very, very, like disciplined about prioritizing self-care. And so that included things like, working on my mindset, keeping my body healthy and fit, and also doing fun things, because when you're a mum, you lose yourself, you forget about yourself, and you're kind of at the bottom of the pile, and you forget that you were a person before you're a mum, and you just fit in that role as mum, but you were a woman before you were mum. So it's very good for you to go back to those times and do maybe some of the things. I'm not saying go out clubbing or anything like that, because who wants to do that when you're a mum? You're just so tired all the time. But go out and go for dinner, or with your friends, or like go to the gym. And I didn't do that for a really long time. Like I just didn't like take care of myself anymore. I stopped going to the gym. I stopped looking after myself. I stopped dressing nice. I started doing that mummy dressing that I said that I never would. And another, so look at your appearance and things like that. And so put that, prioritize yourself. And then the third thing is that I had to get really, really organized with my time, and I had certain times for certain things. So I would batch my tasks. So like, for instance, like on Sundays is the day that I do my content. And then Mondays is the day that I do emails, with other appointments. So on and so forth, what that looks to you. And I just batch my tasks, and I do all of my tasks in one go. I keep a calendar. I automate as much as I can. So like my posts that need to go out on Facebook or Instagram, they're all automated, and I do mine in 2-week batches. So I write the content and then I automate them. And then delegate where you can. Like if you can get a cleaner, or if you can get somebody else to help you around the house, or if there's stuff that you're able to outsource, do that. Like maybe if you're able to get a VA or something like that. So I would say those were the 3 big things that I put into place, and was very strategic about my time. And then I time block in my calendar. I have certain times for certain things, and certain days for certain tasks and projects. And in that way, I'm very strategic about what I'm doing with my time. And that helps me that, when I switch off business hours, that the rest is either for me time, or it's for being with my kids and my family.
Yeah, I love those tips apply to all of us. My kids are much older now, so I have more time, but actually I don't have any more energy. So a lot of those strategies that you just shared there, really, that will help absolutely everybody in business. It's it's managing your time, it's really making yourself a priority, but getting organized as well. I mean, I remember I've just done some training for my membership about funnels and email sequences, and I remember when I used to automatically and manually do all my emails to all my email list. So I used to copy and paste like a little madness. I know. It's like, automation, we have the gift of technology, so the ability to automate is so brilliant now. You don't have to do things the long way. There's so many brilliant shortcuts that we can take.
Yeah, and the thing is, even if you're not, like, say, for instance, if you're not at that point where you can get a VA, you can do it yourself. It's not, like you say, technology has come so far that... like, for instance, I'm not a techie person. So the email marketing automation provider that I use is MailerLite. And it's so good for me because it's so simple and easy to use. And the plug and play is really so easy. The interface is so easy. So if you're one of those people that are non-techie, then you need to find the one that works for you. So it's trial and error. Go out there, test them out. And I think as well, even if you do get a VA, it's always good to know to do it yourself as well. So yes. I'm very much one of those people. I love to learn to do it myself.
brilliant. That's great. And then in terms of the people that you work with, obviously you work with women who are very similar to yourself, that they're running a business and they've got children as well. So what is your big passion for your business?
So, like I said earlier, I did chop and change a little bit, and that's okay. I'd like you to know that you can go through that trial and error, and it's okay to change as well. So I've done career coaching, I've done business coaching, I've worked with men and women, and now I work with mums. And that's only through trial and error that I found out that I actually wanted to work with mums. And the reason why that is because I'm so passionate about helping mums to really get that flexibility and freedom around their families. Because they don't think that they can have it, or that they can do it, or that they deserve it. Because as a mum, you kind of, like I said earlier, was that you put yourself at the bottom of the pile, and you don't need to. You absolutely don't need to. So I'm really passionate about seeing my mum clients like get what they want, have that flexibility and freedom around your children, so you can see all the firsts. You're the person that's growing up your children, and you can still have this amazing career, business, whatever it is that you want. You can have it and still be the best mum possible. And that's what I'm really passionate about. And I want to help, my mums get that and achieve that through the work that they do with me. And that's what I'm passionate about. And yet they are like me. And I went out there and got the help, to do the same thing. So I know that it is doable. And I really want to help those mums specifically to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I see the challenges that my friends and my, the people who have children at the same age as my kids, I can see the challenges that people have got. And, it doesn't matter how hard my day might have felt, or the challenges or the big steps that I've had to take in my business. Every day I'm grateful for the ability to be available to my children when they need me to be, and have that flexibility that I can, go and support them in school, or pick them up from school, or be here when, my eldest one has just started secondary school. So it's so great to be able to be here when he comes home and he's wants to talk about his day, or he doesn't want to talk about his day, but he knows that I'm there for him.
Yeah. And I think that is so important, and we don't know as mums, and I'm not judging in any way mums that decide that the career path and the professional career path is what they want, because that is totally okay as well. So there's nothing wrong with that. But there are a lot of mums that don't want that and feel that they can't have it because they have to do that because it's the norm. Is that you have to have the corporate job, and live the way that life is supposedly normal. But we're not living in normal times, like you just need to look around you. Everything is going online, not just business, everything, shopping is online, like literally just everything. Look, technology, look at the way you can do everything from your TV now as well that you never used to be able to do. So it is the normal to be able to work from home.
Yeah.
I think that the companies need to catch up. Actually,
yeah, and I think we are just in that very early stage of it being normal for us to be at home working from home. And in a few more years' time there'll be many more women doing exactly the same thing. But I think we are still a novelty. I was talking to my guys last week about my neighbours who think that I am just a housewife. There's nothing wrong with being a housewife, I was like, if they think I'm a housewife, I never leave the house. So they must think we have a really clean house, because I don't know what they think I'm doing if I'm not leaving the house like Monday to Friday, because I'm always in the house working. But yeah, it's a different world for them, and I never corrected them because they're in the 70s and I knew that they wouldn't get it, and I just thought, well, it is a different world, and we are the first generation of women making it normal, but it will become the new norm.
Yeah.
For more women. So we need women like you, Tiffany, to help and support those women, to show them that they can do, they can raise families, they can grow businesses, and they can have this awesome balance.
Yeah. No, I totally believe in it. And it's an amazing thing to do. It's an amazing thing to be able to to have this business that you love and still be there for your family, and still have everything you want in terms of lifestyle, and everything else, you know. So you can literally have it all. You can
have it all. And I think
yeah.
sometimes women in particular struggle with believing that they can have it all. It's generally like, you can have this but you can't have that, and it's like, actually you can have it all, you just have to believe it.
Yeah, and as long as you know how, that, you know, that's it. And once you know how, you're flying. You're absolutely flying.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so what is the #1 strategy that has made juggling both motherhood and a business possible for you, and has allowed you to have the time and the energy to create a profitable business?
It's not a strategy per se that I came up with, but I would say that the thing that has helped me the most, there's a few different things, but A was investing in myself and my business. So when I took on a coach, that is what helped me, because sometimes you can't see the woods for the trees yourself. And if you want something, you can get it a lot quicker by getting that help in. So I would say that is, you know, if you're able to, that would be the first thing that I would do. And the second thing is, and I still have this, I have accountability partners, and this is for free. You don't even need to pay for this. I've got 2 accountability partners. They're women who are doing the same thing that I'm doing, not exactly the same thing in terms of like business coaching, but they are running their own businesses. They're mothers, and we're doing it together, but we keep each other accountable. We check in with each other, we set goals with each other, we talk about what our actions are and what strategies we've got in place, and we check in with each other every single week and see what we're doing. And when we're stuck, we phone, you know, that when you can't phone a coach up, your coach, we phone each other and say, oh my goodness, this is happening. I just can't see my way out of it. Can you help me? And so I always have help on the other end of the line whenever I need it, whether it's a text message, an email, a phone call. So I would say that those 2 things, you know, if you can do both, do both. If you can't, then do, at the very least, get yourself, you know, a business bestie, accountability partner, whatever you want to call it. And that will catapult you to success much quicker than trying to do it on your own.
Yeah, we had this question in my group, Live Your Abundant Life, yesterday about, you know, what would you go back and tell your future self in terms of business support? And I said exactly that I would advise myself to get, and I'm good at investing in myself, but I'd get support earlier in my business, because you move faster. And like, you wouldn't choose to raise your children on your own. So how are you supposed to build a flourishing business on your own?
Yeah.
Having the ability to talk to somebody else about it who has got your back and is, you know, invested enough within you to be able to help and support you through the bumps in the road, because there are bumps in the road, regardless of how far in you are with your business. We don't ever get to a point where there aren't challenges. There are always challenges, and we do need support over those. So otherwise, we just stay standing still.
No, and you know what? You can never stop learning is another thing. So I'm always learning. I'm always reading. I'm always watching other people, not to copy them in any way, but because the thing is, there are people that are ahead of you that you can watch and you can learn from. And I would say that's another thing that's really important. Like, don't stop learning. You've never arrived. You know, you're always on the go, always. So I'm always reading. I've got so many millions of books. It's unbelievable. And, you know, I watch YouTube videos when I don't know something. I will go and learn. I'll go out there and learn it, you know. So, and another thing, just to talk about investing in yourself, I'm working with 2 coaches at the moment. That's like what the crazy person that I am. But, you know, I love it. And it helps me so much. You know, it helps me grow. It helps me move forward quicker. And so I think that if you want to grow and you want to get somewhere quicker, then you have to invest in yourself at some point, and you should make it a priority.
Definitely. And I think I was thinking about this today when I was journaling, how often people look at the short term all the time, like, this is where I am, this is what I'm stuck with. I haven't got the money to invest in my business, or haven't got as far as I want yet in my business. But it's the long-term picture that you need to be looking at, that long term of, where you want to be, and what support and help is actually going to get you to that place, and actually figuring that stuff out.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, it is. And the thing is that, like, you've got to understand that when you're investing in yourself, especially when you get the right coach, you are going to get that return on investment so quickly, so quickly, so you will get that money back. Sometimes, I can't make any promises, but 3, 4, 5, even tenfold. So it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
To invest in yourself, not just yourself, but and your business.
Yeah, and your future business, isn't it? It's not just the here and now. It's what you'll be calling in 3 months' time, 6 months' time, and beyond, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Right. So, last question from me is, what is the kind of biggest fearless step that you have taken in your business that's got you to where you are today?
Really, it was just the decision to go for it. Because being a mum and having that responsibility of 2 kids, like, when I absolutely said I was going to go for it, had 1 child and was pregnant with the other. And it is so scary, the unknown. You don't have this regular paycheck. You don't have any of this. And like I said, I was so scared. I even went on interviews. I said it earlier before. But I just didn't back down from my dreams and what I wanted to achieve and my goals. And I just said, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go for it. And that is the most fearless thing I've ever done, because it wasn't fearless in actual fact. There was so much fear behind it. But what was fearless was the decision to say, I'm going to go for it. I'm all in. I'm not going to let anything distract me, or take me away from my dreams. I'm just going to go for it, And look, we only get one life, so you've got to give it a go.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. You've just got to do it.
And Tiffany, you are the mum, you are the woman who did give it a go, and look where you've got to now with your business and your lifestyle. But also what you've been able to give to your family as well is absolutely awesome. Well done.
I know. Thank you so much. And you too. You're incredible.
Oh, thank you very much. So just before we conclude this interview, if you've got any questions, please post them in the comments below. If you're watching the replay, Tiffany and I will see the comments and we will respond to you. So please do comment as well. So just in terms of yourself then, Tiffany, there's been lots of people who've been watching us today, and I know lots of people will be watching the replay back as well. So if people wanted to find out more about you or stay connected with you, what is the best way for those people to do that?
So I'm mostly active on Facebook. So you can, I love Facebook. I am on Instagram as well. So I can post those links below, and I would say that would be the absolute best way to connect with me. I am present. I don't have messenger bots or anyone, like talking to you. So if you talk to me, I'm talking back to you.
It's really Tiffany.
It's really me. So I think that's the absolute best way to contact. I do have a website, but it's work in progress, I think, as our website. I think it's obsolete now anyway, to be honest.
I think even when they're done though, it's still work in progress.
Yeah.
Websites, that is. I know that you had a gift for my audience. I just need to go and pick it up again. It seems to have jumped off my cut and paste. But it's been really brilliant to talk to you today, to a fellow business coach with... let me just... it's not liking my... Oh, Tiffany, whilst I faff on, do you want to talk about the gift that you had for my people?
Yeah.
Anybody?
So the gift that I have for you today is called a Wheel of Balance. Some others might know it as the Wheel of Life, but I like to call it Wheel of Balance. And what you're doing is you're looking at all the different areas of your life, because you can't prioritize and strategize without knowing what you need to work on. So this tool is going to help you to do that. It's going to look at all the different areas of your life, and the wheel is there, the workbook is there, and I've recorded a short little video that goes with it to explain how you use it. And as a bonus little offer as well, completely free of charge, if you want to, and you've done the wheel and you want to talk a little bit further around it, you can book a call in with me, and I will talk you through your wheel and set some actions for you to do, and sort of get you on your way to achieving that balance in all the different areas of your life.
Right, I have got it. Look.
Yay!
I didn't know that Be Life TV did this. It's in the comment box as well. It's a trawler, apparently.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I saw it come across the screen.
In the links below as well, and I'll make sure that they are definitely in there when we conclude. But yeah, that is a really fabulous gift for people, to really figure out where you are right now. And then if you need some further help and support or an action plan, Tiffany's very generously put in that opportunity for you to jump on a call and actually have a conversation with Tiffany. So Tiffany, thank you so much for being here today and for being my guest and sharing all of that. That's been so brilliant.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I've loved being here with you all. And of course, if you've got any questions, I don't know if we've got any more time now. If not, we'll jump back on in and answer those questions for you.
Thank you very much, Tiffany, and thank you for everybody who's joined us and for your comments. I look forward to connecting with you again with another interview from this interview series. Tiffany, once again, thank you very much. And thanks to everybody who has been live here today. See you again soon.
Thank you. Bye.